Welcome back. I'm Trish. I'm just touching base on Nicola Bully again. Just want to shout out to Sunny Justice from Is a Criming Shame. Just want to say thank you for mentioning me in your video. I watched that video and I watched a few of your videos, which I really enjoy. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for putting me in your video there. It was a bit of a shock to see that, but I did enjoy it. So thank you for that. Also, I didn't know about the swans in Nicola Bully's YouTube page. So thank you for giving me that information, because now it kind of fills in all the pieces for me as well, why she comes to me as a swan and why she attaches herself to my swan cards in my personal deck. So thank you once again, Sunny. I do appreciate all the videos you do as well. So I just want to touch base on some of the questions that I've received in my last video. Now, I'm going to check in with my cards to make sure I'm still okay to read on this. I always do ask permission with my cards. I always ask to make sure I'm connected and ask that I have permission. Eventually, one day, Nicola will say no and close the doors on this so she can move on, and that will be in her own time when she does that. But I feel at the moment there's so many unanswered questions, and I really feel the urge that Nicola is wanting information released. So I feel in my heart that Nicola wants to release information, and what avenues has she got, really? Like, what can she do? So from where she is, what can she do? So I feel like it's important to do these things for now at this time while she's needing us to do that. So let me just see if I can tap into her energy. It takes a little bit to go into this, so I will be back and we'll start this reading, please. Welcome back. First of all, I'm just going to tap into the cards and I'm just going to ask if I have permission to read on this, please, from Nicola, or if I have a connection to Nicola, please. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that she's trying to shine a light on the information, but there seems to be a bit of chaos right now around this time. There's like chaos and delays with the connection with Nicola at the moment. I'm just going to give it a minute. I'm just going to give it some time and I'll come back. But I feel like, yeah, just at the moment, it's like she's trying to shine a light here, but there's some kind of delays, or there's like chaos going on with the connection. So I will be back. Okay, so I'm going to check back in on Thursday before I do the lives, if I can read on Nicola Bully's case. I had a couple of questions, and I also wanted to do I've got a new medium deck as well, my medium deck here, and it gives me like letters to people's names and things like that, and I was wanting to see if we could pull anything there, but I feel like there is a little bit of a connection problem at the moment. The cards are saying the energy, either my energies scattered too thinly, because I've done a couple of other readings already this morning, and I need to shift my attention to something else. And I was getting new doors, so I'm either looking at something different today, which I've got to read on now, or that energy, Nicola's energy, is scattered, like she's going through she's got it placed in a few different people at the moment. So I'm feeling the energy. Normally I pick up a very, very strong energy from Nicola when I tap into her straight up. Yes, I get yes straight away, or connection straight away. I get a very strong energy, but I'm getting a lot of delays and around the energy today, the connection. So I'm not going to read on it today, only because I want to have a very good, strong connection, and I don't want to do it any injustice. So I'm not reading on it today. I'll check in again later on in the week to read on this. But yeah, thank you. We'll stitch this together. I'm back. I started to read on something else then, and actually it's funny because I didn't even press record on the video, so that was weird. But I did start to read on something else, and I asked for a connection, but it kept saying no. It was giving me the death card a couple of times, and then it gave me the swan card. My white swan came out, and then I started talking how I tried to connect to Nicola and I couldn't get in. And then, so I'm starting to read on something else, and it was saying no, it kept coming back, and then it's come out. This is the Nicola on the water as the swan. There's a connection to that. This is my connection card, so it's connection to that. And then the social anxiety. So it just said I'm connected into Nicola now. So I'm back to continue the reading. I did try to go and read on something else a bit softer energies, or a bit not a true crime read, but it was saying no. It kept saying death card, and Nicola's cards kept coming out, so it was telling me that at that point that I had a connection, and I hadn't even pressed record on the video I was trying to make either. So that's a sign to say no. And here, this is my card of somebody coming through from the other side. So it is telling me now we have a connection. So first of all, I'm going, and I'll pack away my Weird Wednesday reads because I was going to do my Weird Wednesday read. So let's just pack them away. Now, I've also got a deck called my Connection Oracle deck. Now, this is my medium reads. It does relationship reads, medium reads, spirit guide reads. Also gives me little dates and numbers and things like that on top of the cards. So first of all, I want to check in to see if there's anything that Nicola wanted to say through these cards, please. Is there anything she wanted to say through these cards? Lonely, she says. And she knows she has to be strong right now. So this is the card here. It says lonely. Let me see where I'll put these so you can actually read them. She says she is lonely, but she knows that she needs to be strong right now. It's also a lily pad in the water. And it's saying time is needed right now. Okay, 56, 13, and 51. So we're looking at the numbers of the cards as well. It also gives me letters. So, Nicola, if you're here, is there anything that you want to say, please, through these cards? Is there anything in these cards that you want to talk about? Goddess. This is the goddess energy, so that's her standing in her own personal power. Okay, so I'm wanting you now to look through for the letters on the cards and tell me if there's anyone here, significant letters that you want to talk about, please. And we'll go to the crime cards and we'll read. But is there anybody that you would like me to read on? So pull out a letter, please, a letter out of these. That's the letter A. Okay, any other letters here? C and R. C and R. Okay, number 52. Okay, any other names, please, that you can give me? Any other names that you want to talk about in the read today, please? Okay, so letters that I have are P. Bring that up. So there's a P. P. A. The other letters that she gave me to read on today, which I don't know who they are, so maybe if you know, you could comment. R could be Ron. I've heard the name Ron before. There's an R. And a C. I don't know who C is, but it's come up. Anyway, this is the one that I'm probably going to have a look at today. And just quickly, I know I read the numbers, but I just want to have a little brief look at these before. This is a message that said strong. She's lonely, but she's got to be strong. So the timing came out with that as well. Also saying there were some issues around the house going on here. So this, just so we know what they are, there was battles going on. We're looking at the cards quickly here as well. There was some kind of battle going on possibly with the house. This is, I know this card says marriage, but marriage can also be de facto relationship as well. So we're talking about a relationship there. Somebody was protecting the nest or protecting their assets, protecting the nest. So that can be like nest egg as well. So protecting the nest egg. And this one here is saying somebody had an attraction to somebody. Somebody was attracted to somebody. Forgiveness. There's a forgiveness card here. And this one here, we know that came out, the goddess energy came out at the beginning. So that was Nicola saying that she was standing in the goddess energy. And lost love on the other side. On the other side, that's my card to mean connect with people in a medium way. So on the other side, messages coming through from the other side. What would you like to tell me about those initials, please? What would you like to tell me about those initials? And I'm going to say whatever it is that you say here. What would you like to tell me about those initials, please? And thank you for coming through as well. I had a bit of a connection issue, which I'm glad we got that sorted. Confrontation. In too deep. In too deep is the water card. Creative narrative. That's a lying card. Someone lying, telling stories. The hangman. The hangman. Delays and suspensions. Hangman. And justice. It says justice will be served. Actually, that was one of the questions somebody had asked in my comments. Will justice ever be served for this? And this card is the card of justice will be served. I don't feel it's anytime soon. And there you go. That's the answer to that one. That's the hangman means delays and suspensions. So that was one of the questions that somebody had asked me was, will justice eventually be served for Nicola? It's saying that justice will be served, but it will be a long time. There'll be a lot of delays in this. So it'll be a long time before that happens. So when I've asked about the initials that she gave me, it's saying something about in too deep. That's in the water too deep, confrontation, and a creative narrative. Okay, so anything else you'd like to tell me about the person with those initials, please? Suspect motives. Suspect motives. And there was some kind of organised meetup. There was an organised meetup going on around that person. So I'm wondering if that's like a hookup type, infidelity type thing there, or a suspect, and right next to the card of suspect motives, like they're out together. I guess that gives a motive, really. Gives a motive. So that's what I think you're trying to tell me. And an aggressive attack. There was an aggressive attack. So there was a lot of bruisings too. That was the other question people were asking, is that there was a lot of bruising on Nicola. Now I had read before previously that they told me about the bruising in one of the other readings, and that was because of the person initialed in this reading with Nicola, the fight between the two of them. So that was the reason why there was bruises on both sides. So that was related to that. So that's just confirming that again. Okay, so let's go in a little deeper here. Okay, I'm going to put these cards back in just so they can come out again if they need to. I can't believe I'm reading on this. I didn't think I was getting in today. And I won't read unless I have a connection, and I won't read unless I have permission. So it took a little while to get it today. It did say there was delays around the connection though. Okay, the other question somebody was asking me was, I'm going to be direct just with the question that was asked. Somebody said to me was, in the comments, was the man in black Paul? That's what they said. Now, I hadn't actually asked that in the cards before. In my mind, I'm kind of thinking surely not, she would have known. But, you know, she's given me those initials this morning. So, and that's what she wants to talk about today. So that's what Nicola is wanting to talk about today. So most of the things that come out today, and I will go with where the cards direct me. Like, I do have questions based on what people have asked, but I'd rather go with what the cards want to say and what direction Nicola wants to push this, please. Accomplice. So it's saying that there was an accomplice in this situation. There was an accomplice. Or was such and such an accomplice. I also, these are card readings. There's no evidence here whatsoever. This is speculation only, and I am not accusing anybody. That's why I'm not really putting a name to an accusation, but I am using the initials that the cards gave me in this situation. Okay, someone's alone, an accomplice, but somebody was alone. And a protection card, a protection. Okay, we keep getting the protection cards come up all the time here in this reading. We get a protection, and I say, is it police protection or is somebody protecting somebody else? So let's clarify that right now. Who's protecting who, please? Who's protecting who? What's the protection related to here, please? The protection is related to the suspects, whoever's the suspects. Somebody's protecting a suspect motives, it's called. So there's a protection going on around who are the suspects. And motives. Didn't I just say motives like a minute ago? Okay, so the person that's being protected is related to the person that has motives. Please remember where we're going with this reading today, where the initials that came out as well. Okay, somebody's very stubborn or very resilient. Now, when I see this card too, I see this card as, that looks like pretty shallow water to me, and I see it as, and swords being death. I'm seeing as being death in this case. It's like the blow or the final moments is what I'm picking up on there with this card here. The death blow. So that's the death blow. Okay, that was another question that came out, because I'm seeing the Hermit card, and I'm sorry, I don't know where this one fell out next to, which card it fell out next to, but I'm seeing here the Hermit card and the alone, and that was another question. Did she die alone? Did she die alone? So let's ask that, because that's what the cards are saying that they want to talk about. So was she alone at the moment of her death? And the card that I just explained to me indicates the moment of death, and that said alone. So, okay, so I just had to pick up cards then. Okay. I'd asked if she was alone at the moment of her death. Now, the cards that have come up is death and repeat offender. So repeat offender, sorry, my ears are ringing. The sense that I'm getting out of the repeat offender is the person that did the crime. And repeat offender I had spoken about before as somebody that had done some kind of crime before. Okay, also came out that fell on the floor and I had to pick it up was the Contemplations is Nikki's card. This is the card Nicola is associated with. I made this card for Nicola, actually, and in the last reading she did say that she was claiming this card. Also around the family home as well. Kept getting issues around the family home as well. So now she's pulling me back over here to issues going on around the family home. So whether that was to do with refinancing, I think we had money in that first spread. So either issues around the fighting and who was going to get the family home, or whether it had been refinanced and it was something to do with the money around the family home, or hidden money or something discovered around that. But she's bringing me back now to the family home. Okay, the question that I asked was she alone at the moment of her death? Now it says family home, but I'm thinking, was this even Is she talking that she was in a home? She was because this is really where the nuts and bolts of this, the real questions are here. The real questions are, was she taken somewhere for those 8 days? Like, was she stored somewhere? Did she die at the water where she was found or where she started walking? Was she taken away? These are the real questions. So, and this is what the cards are wanting to talk about. Okay, so Nicola's here. She's come out with this card here, and we're talking about the death, and we're talking about the repeat offender. So that gives me a couple of questions. A couple of questions being, there was either issues with the home, or was she taken somewhere? Okay, so let's go there first of all, and then I've got to remember to clarify on the repeat offender and the other question. Okay. Okay, first thing I'm clarifying on, please, is, were you taken somewhere, please, Nicola? Were you taken somewhere? Was the body moved from the river and then put back? Was Nicola's body moved from the river and then put back, please? That says gossip and rumours. Okay, I'll say it again. Was the body moved and then taken back? Okay. Walk away. Okay, I think we need to ask it in a different way, because it's saying that that's gossip and rumours. Okay, did Nicola walk to where? Okay, so how do I say this? Because do I say that she was murdered? Do I say that where she died is the right way to say it? Okay, so where Nicola's body was found, is that where Nicola died, please? Where Nicola's body was found, is that where Nicola died, please? Okay, the cards here are saying, because she was walking, remember, she was walking around this area, and that's why this card came out before, where she was walking, where it said the body was taken away, or she was taken away. She was walking, which reminds me, I want to get back to the Fitbit stopped. Last recorded walking was at 9:30. And then this is my fault. It says self. This is my fault. So she walked herself. She walked herself is what it's saying. Okay. She walked herself. Thank you. And I've got goosebumps for this one. Now, what I'm getting here is, Nicola, did you walk somewhere away from the river, please? Did you walk away from the river? Okay, just want to show you this card, because people keep talking about some storm drain, like a storm drain tunnel thing, and that looks like a tunnel water to me, that kind of looks like that. So did she walk to that area? Is that what you're saying, Nicola? Did you walk to that area? Was that the area that you were in? Did you walk over that way? Did you walk to that area? There's a connection. It was all to do with like a chaos and a different perspective. So I need to ask that in a different way. It's connected to the turmoil, but in a different way. Tower can also be building as well, by the way. Now, the card I was actually going to ask, did she walk or was she in a vehicle? Bottom of the deck, vehicle. The chariot, the vehicle. So that was going to be my next question was, were you in a vehicle? When you say you walked yourself, because when I first asked the question, I said, was Nicola's body taken from the river, moved, and then taken back? She came out and said, no, she did that herself. So she was consciously aware when she walked away from the river. She walked away from the river herself. But then it told me to ask it in a different way. So maybe it wasn't walking, maybe she travelled. Okay, different perspective again, different perspective. Okay, how else would she have got away from the water point, please? You were alive at that point when you left the river. And please clarify, am I correct there? Did you leave the river did you suspect motives? So there's a suspect motives around it. Okay, now I'm getting lured again. I remember in one of the other readings I was getting that she was lured somewhere. Can you please tell me if that's the case? Were you lured somewhere? Lured, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. This is the authorities card, authorities, police authorities. Were you lured somewhere, please? It's too many cards. Sorry. Back to the tunnel again. So what I'm kind of feeling is that she was alive at that point. Okay. But I'm not getting the way she got away from the river. I'm getting that incorrectly. Oh, sorry. There's a bigger picture, so there's more to that situation, and that's what I'm picking up on. It's different. It's a little bit different to how I'm getting it, how I'm saying it, or how I'm seeing it. It's like a little different. Again, bigger picture. There's more to it, more to that situation. Unseen. Okay, so unseen again. We're coming back to her not seeing something. Okay, so when I said was the body taken away, because I saw that road too in that path, was she? Okay, so were you alive at that point? Were you alive at that point? I'm trying to ask it in the most basic way. Protection. So either to protect yourself. So there was more than one. And she was tied down. And a different perspective. So different perspective means it's slightly different to how I'm saying it or how I'm seeing it. So it's a little bit different. Or a sideways approach. Now I feel like it's a bit different to how I'm saying it or seeing it. And we keep getting the tied down cards, and there was more than one person involved at that time. So there's more than one person involved. Please confirm if that's correct. So at that point you were tied down, and you keep saying tied down. So I'm gonna use the word because you keep saying it. Then there was a vehicle involved. The chariot, the vehicle involved. Okay, please give me the timeline. You continue with the timeline of how it happened. So you were at the river walking. You were still alive. There was two people involved. You were tied down. Here there was confrontation with the devil. Let me come back to that. So then there was a confrontation with this devil energy, this furious masculine energy. Then there was death. But there's a missing puzzle piece. So somewhere after that, there's a missing puzzle piece. Okay, so that's the timeline she's giving me. She's saying, now where does tied down come into that, please? So that's the timeline. She's giving me the timeline. Now, I don't know if the tied down part came in because I don't know if that came in as part of the timeline because that came out first and I put it back. I said it and then I put it back. So it was like she was in a car or in a vehicle. There was a confrontation going on with a furious male. Death occurred. So this is a timeline she's giving me, but there's a missing piece to it. Sorry, just feeling sick. Home card on the bottom of the deck. Okay, let's come back in again. I feel like we're really, really connected here again. So let's go a little deeper. Okay, so the Fitbit said 9:30 was, thank you for that. Thank you. The Fitbit said 9:30 was the last time she walked. Nicola was the last time Nicola walked was at 9:30 by according to the Fitbit. Can you confirm that, please, or give more information surrounding that? Okay. That's now we've got evidence or statement. So this is turmoil. There was turmoil or distraction going on around that time. There was more evidence, or this is evidence. So the Fitbit's in evidence, and it is saying 9:30 is the timeline. So it's saying something not involved, and party substance. So not involved, or evidence not involved. What am I missing? What am I missing? Okay, I think they're all really relevant cards. They're all really important cards. Please tie the picture together for me. Okay. Empress being female energy. Somebody masked, not showing their true face. Now, I think we'll get in the masks in all the other readings that I was doing as well. So not being truthful and I think how I worded that before was not being truthful in how, like, that's where the lured came into it. And I was just talking about that before, the word lured, and that's how it came about in the other readings, was because I was getting the card of the mask. So it was like she was almost like she was lured somewhere on false pretenses. So like the mask is on, it's like not real, it's not, and I'm getting a different mask to the can't see the face. It's a mask of false pretenses. So lured there for another reason. Okay, coming back to the timeline that you gave me where you said you walked yourself and then you showed me vehicle. Please, did you get into somebody else's vehicle, please? Yes, still recording. So my phone dropped out then, that records the cards where the cards, your screen view of the cards. So I'm back to the old way of showing you the cards as they come out. I like so you can see them fall out on your own, so they know they're coming out and what they are as they come out. But I want to continue with this reading because I feel like we're getting somewhere. So I don't want to stop the reading now and wait for the phone to recharge. And I can't stick the charger in because it's an iPhone and I've got the earphones in there to stop the echoing, the problem I had last week. Okay, so a couple of cards just fell off. Okay, interesting, these cards that have come out. Check the timing. Talking about the timeline. Fitbit maybe. Okay, then I'm seeing the card of what blew me away. I'm going to show you the first card that I saw that fell out. A bunch of cards fell out on the ground. So, and I've picked them up, and it said, when I said the question was, did you get into the car with somebody? Did you get into somebody else's car? It says somebody that I used to know. A repeat offender. That means they've got a past in shady deals or crime or been convicted before or into shady stuff. Follow the money. So all about maybe it was a financial deal, or she was discussing with somebody something about finances, something to do with payoffs, or follow the money. So it's something about money. Somebody that she used to know, with a repeat offender, so shady person that had crime, saying protect yourself, so protection. Okay, quickly get through these. There was a confrontation with this furious devil man, and she was in the car. And that was a question that I asked. Did you get in the car with somebody? He said, I got in the car, furious male, confrontation with them, related to money. This person was into shady stuff, and it says somebody she used to know, and something about the timing. So this is the timeline that she's giving me, the timeline. Okay. My feelings on this is that this one is not Paul. Is it connected to those initials, please, that were given at the start of the reading? Is the person she was in the car with connected to these initials, please? There was a fight, so somebody was fighting, but not showing their true intentions. So when she got into this car, they weren't showing the true intentions of why they wanted her to get into the car. They weren't showing those true intentions. Now, I keep getting vehicles all the way through, but I've never really got a story of a vehicle being involved, but the vehicle card falls out every time. Okay. Any other questions here, please? Somebody watching you? Okay, so I might cut this one a bit short and come back to this one on Thursday. Thank you for joining me.